All right, everybody, we are going to get started with Intro to Competitions. Please have a notebook and pen to take notes for this presentation, as I'm going to give little bits and bobs of advice as we go along, and they might not necessarily be written down on the presentation. So just have a notebook and pen ready, take down notes as you want to. My favorite quote in the entire world, and the quote I wanted to start the section off with, is, "If we did all the things we are capable of, we would literally astound ourselves." The reason why this is my favorite quote is because I always came from a background where I thought I was never really going to do well at anything. But I found chefing, and I found competitions within chefing. And I really did well. And I just want to explain who I am, so that you know that I sort of do know what I'm talking about, not who the hell is this lady and she doesn't really know what's going on. I'm Chef Taylor. I have competed in many competitions. I have competed in Unilever Chef of the Year quite a few times, Goldcrest Young Chef of the Year. I have represented South Africa with the World Skills International Cooking Competition. I competed in Brazil. It was amazing. I was also on the junior culinary team, and we competed in the Culinary Olympics in Erfurt, Germany. So I've done a lot of competitions, and although I haven't necessarily won every single thing I've competed in, I've learned a lot for what judges look for, specifically with how they want things presented, how they expect you to write down recipes, what they expect from your planning, and more specifically, what they expect from your kitchen hygiene, because it's very different in kitchens when you do competitions for kitchen hygiene. Cooking competitions have been taking place all around the world for many years. Some examples of TV cooking competitions are MasterChef, Iron Chef, Chopped, Ultimate Brown Master. There's loads. You probably know way more than I do. What you'll probably see on these shows is a larger-than-life host a specifically defined challenge, like a mystery box or a specific item they have to use, bombastic music, a set time limit, a panel of judges, and a cast of contestants whose soppy backstory and biographical detail serves to heighten the stakes and fan the dramatic flame. So it's all about drama because it's TV. They want to make it interesting because otherwise it's boring to watch. It's not fun to watch someone ice a cake for 3 hours. It's more fun to watch someone panic and stress and go crazy and judges shouting. So you'll probably know a lot of the commercial cooking competitions more than you will the ones that we can actually enter as chefs. I want to see if you can name these in your head. So while you're sitting here in your lounge or your bedroom or wherever you're watching this, I want you to just see if you can name these competitions. Anyone know? If you said MasterChef Australia, you are correct. I don't know if you know this one. This is an American one. Okay, if you know this one, Chopped. Okay, where they chop each contestant, not in half, but they chop them out of the competition as it goes on. And possibly my least favorite TV show competition, this one. If you said Iron Chef America, you are correct. I absolutely hate this. It is so over the top. But it's interesting to watch, and it's crazy. And if Americans can do one thing, it's make an interesting TV reality show. But we don't really compete in those because unless it's MasterChef Professionals or Ultimate Brown Master, we don't as chefs get a good chance to compete on TV like that. These competitions are usually the ones that we are most familiar with, but they aren't very realistic. In a regular kitchen, you wouldn't be allowed to be messy, you wouldn't be allowed to waste, you wouldn't be allowed to dress in casual clothes as you can in these sort of commercialized TV shows. Some of the best cooking competitions in South Africa are World Skills, Unilever Young Chef of the Year, Goldcrest Young Chef, San Pellegrino Young Chef, South African National Team to go to the Culinary Olympics, and many more. And I've competed in quite a lot of them. Now, these are some photos that you probably don't know where they're from. So this is from, it says here the ChicagoMoldSchool.com, but from when I researched this project, these are some of the things that they do in the Culinary Olympics. So we had to do something similar to this. We were the juniors, so we didn't have to do something as fancy, but it was definitely something fancy like that. This is someone making a chocolate art piece. So they basically have, let's say, 3 set hours. or however long, and then they have to mold and sculpt an entire sculpture out of chocolate, and there's usually a theme, so whatever this theme might have been. A lot of the other countries around the world are leaps and bounds ahead of us in terms of decorative pastry, so this is the type of stuff that they're producing. So we as South Africans need to be at that level. This is San Pellegrino Young Chef of the Year. This is a competition where you enter online and then they choose from what they see online, and then you go and actually cook your dish. So you have to use San Pellegrino at some stage, which is this sparkling nonsense. This is Chef Dion Vengatas. I hope I pronounced his surname correctly. He is part of the senior culinary team. He's been on for years. And he's absolutely amazing. He is incredible. And there he is plating something up at the Culinary Olympics. There are some basic rules of a competition that we have to bear in mind. Most competitions have the same underlying rules. The kitchen must be hygienic, okay, the whole time. Use correct boards for the correct tasks. You have to store correctly, so that includes labeling, dating, putting your name on it, making sure that you've stored all pastry items together and all meat items together, and meat below vegetables and all that other stuff. Minimal wastage. They usually, in some competitions, like for example Unilever Young Chef of the Year, they weigh your wastage at the end. So anything you have left over, they weigh the actual bin just to test, because you can make an amazing dessert or an amazing 3-course meal, but if you're going to waste half a kitchen doing it, then you get marked down quite severely for that. You need to wear your correct attire. So each competition is different, but internationally you would need a white chef jacket with the sleeves not rolled up. They have to be all the way down to touch your wrists. Black chef pants, white apron, a torque, with usually for women we put a hairnet under if our hair is quite long, or we gel our hair up, which is disgusting, don't do that. Gloves, and then chef shoes. So gloves meaning you cook with gloves on the entire time. You wear about 3 or 4 sets of gloves on your hands, and you snap them off after you've finished with each component. So like, let's say you do protein, snap those sets of gloves off, go on to vegetables. And then non-slip chef shoes that are black. Correct hygiene standards, so no facial hairs allowed, no jewelry, no piercings on your face. You can't have any of your hair protruding from your torque. Your clean attire throughout. You can't mess on your clothes. If you mess on your apron, it's considered kind of taboo. You can't really mess. I know it sounds almost impossible, but it's the truth. And then usually gloves worn, and they need to be clean. So, if you are going to go into a competition and you're going to wear 1 set of gloves and get them dirty the whole time, that's just as nasty as using your hands. And then washing hands in between tasks is a big thing. They count how many times you wash your hands for how long. And if the coronavirus has taught us anything, it's that proper hygiene with washing hands is super, super important. No cross-contamination at all. So you can't use the wrong board for the wrong thing. You can't put cooked meat onto a board that has cooked vegetables even if they are going in the same dish. And then following the specific competition rules. So that's one of the things I want to talk to you about today. We are going to be chatting through different types of competitions, what they entail, what you can sort of expect from different competitions, and basically how you should enter them and go about them.